So there's confirmation of quarter-final between the number 1 and 7 seeds. Gone according to plan, isn't it? As far as that's concerned, Sana Nehwal, Li Shuai coming through far more comfortable, you have to say, for Li in her victory over Han Li.
He is facing from Denmark, Victor Axelsen.
Please welcome the technical officials on court number 1. The umpires, Frank Elstrand from Denmark, and the service judge is Lynn Bourne from the United States of America. On court number 1, women's singles. Please welcome from Thailand, Ratchanok Intanon. And she's facing from Japan, Minatsu Mitani.
Well, the defending champion makes her way out onto court. Ratchanok Intanon up against Minatsu Mitani here. Only one of 2 defending champions at this year's World Championships. Well, Ratchanok Intanon, maybe not quite the young pretender. They're playing the kind of badminton she was a year ago on her way to winning, of course, famously this prestigious crown. And there was a few struggles yesterday for her as well against Beatriz Corrales. Of course, Mitani would have been watching her compatriot in the previous encounter, Takahashi, in the end succumbing to the favourite. Well, can Mitani trouble the favourite here? Ratchanok Intanon, 19 now. Of course, the youngest ever world champion when she did it 12 months ago in Guangzhou. She's seeded 4 here. Mitani, number 16. And she struggled a little bit early on against Beatriz Corrales. She was a bit tired. She's not been very well. She had a bit of flu before she left for Denmark. As you can see, ranked 6 in the world now. Not won since her famous victory in China 12 months ago. You can see this year, win-loss ratio. It's positive, but not as she would have liked it. Lost to Lee in the semis of the All England, and the world number 1 beat her as well in the final of the Indonesia Open in June. As for Mitani, her world ranking is 15. She beat Lena Kiersfeld on Tuesday in just under half an hour. Not been a great 2014 for her. Been making a lot of quarter-finals a number of quarterfinals, in fact, and she had a big loss in the Asian Championships as well. Lost a player who was ranked 110 spots below her, but she looked impressive against one of the local favourites, Lena Kiersfeldt, yesterday. And she'll be aware of Ratchanok talking down her chances. She'll be aware of her opponent as well, that they haven't met for a couple of years. That last meeting was in 2012. They also met in 2010, but you have to remember Ratchanok was 15 there and Mitani was only 18.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Ratchanok Intanon, Thailand. On my left, Minatsu Mitani, Japan. Ratchanok Intanon to serve, love all, play.
So the defending champion begins her last 16 match here in the women's singles against Minatsu Mitani of Japan. What do you think, Jim? This talk of not being 100%, feeling ill, is it a way of just kind of decreasing the pressure of being a defending champion at a major tournament like this, or do you really think that she should be underplaying her chances?
Well, let me put it this way: if she should go and win this one, it's the smartest move ever. and there is, I've heard and seen players before time that's not, but that they would like to come out with a statement like that to take some of the pressure off. But
well, listen, she has had the flu. It's not been easy in terms
no,
of training.
I know that. But
and second of all, she hasn't won since.
But then if she goes and win, then what? You know, she was ready. So the only thing to say, if she's playing here, she's ready.
Listen, she's out there. She's going to give it everything, I'm sure. Yeah. And she's a quality player, isn't she? She's just won the first 4 points in the match. But listen, if you have the flu, well, it was last week. By now, you'd think you're over it.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, it just doesn't help your preparation, does it?
No, of course not. But as I said, it can sometimes help players, you know, take down the pressure a little bit.
And what's your theory? I mean, she's not been playing as well as she was in the build-up to last year's World Championships. But it's different, isn't it? Suddenly you're the world champion. You're there to be gunned at. She's
cold,
only 19.
Cold, it's cold at the top, as you say,
yeah.
And it has been cold. It's very difficult.
All the top sportsmen always say the easiest bit is getting to the top. The hardest bit is staying at the top.
Staying there, yeah. And you often see that, and she hasn't really adjusted to that because suddenly everybody was not. Ratchanok was not this little girl that was coming up. She's the world champion.
At 18.
Yes, and therefore all countries have videos, study you. What can we do against her? This is her favorite shot. This is what she does from there. Where can we hit her weaknesses? And suddenly it's a different ballgame.
We have to remember, though, she's been in the spotlight for years. I mean, she was a three-time world junior champion as well.
There's a difference between world junior champion and world champion. Especially the way it's...
I know you've been there as well yourself.
It's a big, big difference. No, but it was also more or less the way, you know, being in China and beating a Chinese player and the Olympic champion in the final. That's... Whoa, what happened there? You know, so... It's been a tough task for her to follow up. But listen, she's still very, very young. And she's got so much in her that I'm very sure of that at some point she's going to come back to her standard last year.
Because when we watched her coming through, she is one of those players that looks a complete natural.
Oh, she is. You know, it's nothing that's difficult for her. This is not, you know, there's trained players and then there's players that have trained but had it before, you know, and she's one of those, you know, that you can see the touch and the coordination, everything. It just comes smoothly.
Mitani, also at a young age, is, you know, one that some big tournaments. I mean, she's the first Japanese player to win a Super Series title. She won French Open in 2012, beat Tina Bowen, who we've seen here this week. Hasn't really also gone on since then. You know, that wasn't a launch pad, shall we say, for her.
Yeah.
She's been struggling for form. I'm not talking about Ratchanok, I'm talking about Mitani at the Uber Cup. She lost 3 of her 5 matches. The only matches she won were against Denmark.
Unfortunately.
And of course, she just beat a Dane as well in the last round.
Yeah.
It's quarterfinals as far as she's gone. Japan Open, Malaysian Open. So it's not good to come to these events looking for form. You could say the same about Ratchanok, but Ratchanok's level is still higher.
It's still higher, and it probably helps to have a world gold medal around your neck when you enter the tournament. She knows that she's won this tournament before, so she knows she can do it. What Mitani doesn't know, she hasn't found out if she can really do it. Just looks so easy. And I can't even say this is down to luck. She's just that smooth in a way of playing. Look how calm she is. Whoops. Just such a good touch on the shuttle. Look at that. Amazing. And we'll probably see a few more of those shots. So, and she's controlling the game from the start and putting Mitani under a lot of pressure, and then when she then has the chances.
Well, she struggled on early on yesterday against Beatriz Corrales of Spain. No struggles early on here against Mitani of Japan. It's straightforward. It's a big gap already. 11-5. It's Intanon who takes the lead at the interval. We're looking at the replay here of Intanon in action. Worth noting some local hopes have started out on court number 3. Victor Axelsen against Nguyen Tien Minh, who we were impressed with yesterday noon. But Axelsen off to a good start. Not quite as good a start as Ratchanok's made here, though.
Fine.
Well, Mitani's got to get into this game. She needs to open up her shoulders like that a bit. This opening game, at least, is running away with her. That's good. Hand on head. What am I doing out here at the moment? It's got, you know, you build yourself up. You look at the pain in her face there, Mitani. It's good to see it hurts in some respect because, you know, you come out high hopes.
Yeah.
And in the blink of an eye, it all can disappear, can't it? 10 minutes on court and first game's nearly gone already.
Yeah, and basically outplayed. Haven't really got her game going. But one of the things I think is Mitani's problem. See, every time she needs to do something,
15,
in offense, she makes mistakes. So she's got the clear and drop it, but Ratchanok is very too good for that. She will just wait for that chance. That's wide.
Service over. Sorry. 17-6.
Well, 18-6 already, and don't
18,
want to take anything for granted, but should Ratchanok go on and win, she'll take on Sung Ji Hyun in the next round, the Korean player, the number 5 seed, with a very comfortable win over Linda Weni Finetri just a short while ago.
It's just to sit back and enjoy this. Look at that backhand. Oh, that's wide.
And that's what it's been like, I'm afraid, for
19,
Mitani.
6.
Wasn't missing by much, but a touch is enough.
Service over. 7-19.
Well, we had a very tight affair, didn't we, in the mixed doubles. First on court, Licorice and Gabby Adcock felt they played a lot below the level they should be, but still made a fight of it, losing in straight games. And that 3-game fight back from Saina Nehwal. This one, though, looks decidedly one-sided, unless Mitani can start producing more of that.
Yeah.
19. Over 20, game point 8.
Well, she seems unable to stop this tide that's flowing in the favour of Ratchanok Intanon. 12 game points for the teenage type. She could do with the 10-minute break. She's only going to get a couple of minutes, Mitani, but...
Oh, tricky serve. Oh, look at that. Fantastic.
Okay. There we go, 14 minutes, job done. Well, half done, I suppose.
First
But
game, 1-5.
yeah, the scars are certainly felt by Mitani there. 21 points to 8, the scoreline from the opening game in favour of Ratchanok Intanon. Well, she was looking down. She's not yet out, Mitani, but
Court 1, 20 seconds.
it does seem a sense of inevitability about this one. Ratchanok, well, if that's not her 100%, then heaven help the rest of the draw when she does get to 100%.
Play. Service over.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Challenge.
Ratchanok Intanon.
I must say,
Challenge.
it looked like it was going wide, but then again,
It's the coolest challenge I've seen.
that's a good challenge, but it can be it's difficult to call. But
Just the way she strutted up. And
yeah, I think it could be good.
I think I'll have a challenge here.
It's out.
Yeah, and it is.
Challenge. Unsuccessful. Service over. 1. Love. Two. Love.
Well,
3. Love.
Well, it's going to be an interesting match tomorrow, isn't it, if Ratchanok does come through. But first of all, this start from Mitani. She needed a lift.
she's got it.
Yeah.
She didn't really have to work for
That
it.
was going wide.
Yeah, it was.
That was going wide. She didn't need to play it. Not always easy to tell, is it? But I think she knew it by a reaction afterwards.
Two. 3.
Great play. Oh, I don't know.
3. All.
Hurting Mitani. Made a good start to the game, but Ratchanok back at her.
Service over.
Oh, big surprise when it doesn't come off for Ratchanok from that kind of position. Surprised herself here.
Five. 3.
Well, some mistakes coming into the Ratchanok game here. We saw from what happened in the last match that you need to ram home that advantage. Certainly did in the first game. And she's allowed Mitani a little bit of hope, albeit just a little.
Well, it's got to be something with ladies singles today. You see one-sided games and then just a big turnaround.
But most of these points, you have to say, are coming from Intanon errors.
Yeah. And you can't help wondering what is she thinking?
Yeah, she's going for the line again there. I mean, just play the rally.
Yeah.
9-3.
In my book, it's not good enough. Definitely not good enough. Like Mitani didn't have to change anything. She's just playing.
Just get it in court. There's another one.
10-3.
Incredible. Got that one right. I think Mitani half expecting another error.
No, he just gone wide. Way wide on one.
That one is.
Well, it's going to be very difficult if she makes mistakes and keep taking the mistakes that Mitani makes. Then she's in for a long game. That's also wide.
6-10.
Oh, nice and easy crawling back.
Well, by keeping the shuttle in play.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, well played by Mitani.
Yeah, she worked that point well, didn't she? So, an unlikely scenario in this second game. Mitani, well and truly beaten in the first game, on top. 11 points to 6.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Please. Silent, please.
Please welcome the technical officials on court number 2.
Eleven, 6. Play.
The umpires, Chelly Rumaka from Indonesia. And the third judge is Johan South Africa.
That's going wide. Oh, I just
12, 6.
I think she must be as baffled as we are.
Women's singles. Please welcome from
This is where-
Denmark,
Where only her personal coach can explain what's happening.
Because, you know, she came out, she looked so good.
Relaxed.
You know, she frustrated her opponent. Mitani looked like she didn't know what to do. And you wouldn't say, oh, Mitani's come out, hasn't she been brilliant at attacking and found the corners and
Nope.
pushed her opponent back and forced her into areas. You haven't seen any of that.
No. As I said, there's only two people that can explain what's happening, and that's Mitani. Not Mitani, of course, but maybe also. But that's Intanon and her coach. Is it? Maybe she thought that was going to be easy. You know,
Lack of concentration, you
yeah,
mean?
took it a gear down, and that was not. You know, but
It's not always easy to find the gear back again, is it?
7.
On court number 4. The umpire is Frank from Denmark. And serving judge Minatsu from India.
Oh, well played, Mitani. That was a really well-worked point by her. Let's give her some credit there.
7.
And now, on court number 4.
But she's been given a lift, hasn't she?
Please welcome from the Netherlands, Eric Mann. And he's facing from Thailand, Minatsu Mitani.
7.
Well wide, wasn't it? That's more like it.
Service over. 8, 16.
Well, it's a long way back for Ratchanok in this game, but you wouldn't put it past her, would you?
yeah, it's gonna take a pretty much perfect game.
Play.
And for Mitani, it's pretty obvious. She needs to try and keep those rallies going and keep it in play and not, you know, maybe force Ratchanok to make. See, like that.
Service over. 17, 10. Service over. 11, 17.
One thing I would say is it's two things. One is there's a lot of people coming in now, isn't there?
Yeah.
Atmosphere's building up nicely. Second of all, it feels like it's getting warmer in here as well.
Yeah.
I think maybe that this morning they might have left the doors open and
They've
let the air in, and
some fresh air. And
but it's certainly heating up again now. Good rally, this one. Ends in frustration again for Ratchanok.
19, 11. Service over, 12, 19.
Oh, look at this. Game points, 8 of them.
amazing.
For Minatsu Mitani was scratching her head, couldn't work out how to get into this match at all. Looked beaten almost. But her perseverance, her opponent's mistakes, and we're about to head into a third game. Here we are. Almost as comprehensive as Ratchanok's win in the first game.
Second game, won by Minatsu Mitani, 21-12. One game all.
One game all it is. 21 points to 12. So Minatsu Mitani very much in this match now. And it's Ratchanok who's doing the head scratching now.
Yeah, I simply have no words. From that first set, what happened?
The complete opposite.
Okay.
So Ratchanok with well, she needs one of those proverbial kicks up the backside, doesn't she, if you like. You know, just get her out of the slumber that she seemed to be in that second game. Take nothing away from Mitani. Obviously winning 20-1-12, she played well.
She's doing what she's supposed to do, so... I'll be surprised if we are seeing Ratchanok coming out here with a little bit more tempo and aggressiveness in her game.
20 seconds. Final game. Love all. Play. One. Love.
Well, Mitani leading in the match now for the first time.
Oh, that's a great shot. That's more the Ratchanok from the first game. With these reverse stick smashes. Very difficult to defend. played by Mitani. Really, really tight net spin.
2 all.
Oh, well played.
Service over. 3, 2.
Well played, Mitani.
Service over. 3
Well,
all.
she's also playing much, much better.
Well, she got a lift, an unexpected one.
Yeah. Look at that. Just right at the end. Instead of hitting hard, she's just blocking to the net. When it's that sharp as it was there, it's impossible to defend. Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
4, 3.
We would, you could never see this coming after the first game, could you?
No.
That's why sport's so good, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's the unpredictability nature of it all.
Service over.
When you think about that game, she won 20-8. You know, the 8 points she had there, Mitani, was pretty much Ratchanok giving it to her, you know, because she was so much better. And now here we are, 4-all in the third game.
You know, when you're the youngest world junior champion, the world champion at the youngest age as well, there are extra burdens, expectations. You know, obviously there's the achievement of succeeding at something so young as well. You know, she can take care of her parents. You know, she's achieved a lot of lifetime goals.
Oh, definitely.
And she's still, you know, a lot of years ahead of her.
Yeah.
She's a baby, really, in badminton terms. It's difficult to deal with, isn't it, in some respect? You know, you've got to have that same motivation you had when everything was new.
It's, yeah. But that's what we talked about, you know, the great athletes in the world, and they find a new target straight away. And she needs to do that. But you can say one thing is, you know, if there's anything that could be a little bit bigger than the World Championship, it is the Olympics in 2016. So.
Well, she was at London in 2012. And as she overcome the little storm hit.
Service over. 5, 6.
What a shot and what a save.
And how about that one as well? Similar. Oh, brilliant. Fantastic.
Not the fourth time.
7, 5.
Sense a little bit more urgency in Ratchanok's game now.
It should be as well.
Look at that. And then the cut short, and then we'll cross again. And it's controlling these shots that makes the big difference.
Service over. 6, 7.
He's going to challenge it here.
Service over.
It's hard for her to get across to the umpire. There she is challenging because the noise levels have gone up with Victor Axelsen, the Danish men's singles player, making it through to the quarterfinals just now. Potential quarterfinal as well against Jana Jorgensen.
Oh, I don't know. Who called it out? He called it good. The back court.
No. He was saying in 7 all. Play.
Yeah.
7. Play.
The guy on the back line actually called it in. So, don't know really what happened there.
Of course, he challenged that.
Yeah.
Service over.
That's rather strange. Anyway,
Yeah.
7.
we move on.
There was no big hustle over it. But maybe that could put a little bit of fire in Ratchanok, you know. Sometimes you need that boost from feeling that.
Service over.
Something went against you.
All.
I suppose after it was one-sided one way, one-sided the other way, we're going to get an even kind of third game. 8 points all.
Oh, it's a great.
Correction. Out. Service over.
Oh,
9, 8.
well, what?
The umpire overruled it, and no challenge from Mitani.
Service over. 9. On.
Well, who can gain an ascendancy here? Who can gain the initiative? Huge gap there for Mitani to exploit.
9.
Yeah, well, she claimed she wasn't 100% fit, and you have to say the way Intanon just gave that one up maybe suggests she isn't feeling 100%. And suddenly it's Mitani who has maybe seized the initiative here. 11 points to 9 in the final game. And here's the defending champion here, going to go out after such a one-sided first game. It would be an incredible turnaround as far as Mitani is concerned, that's for sure.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting now to see what Ratchanok is going to come up with.
Well, listen, there's no way that you're guaranteed to defend your title, but to go out like this would be...
After that first game,
Yeah.
you know, She needs to get up in that gear, but credit to Mitani, you know. She didn't, as you said with Sina, we didn't see the panic button or anything. She just kept going, and that's the way to get back into the game.
Play.
You can see the attitude of Ratchanok now. She knows this was a very, very important point. You definitely don't want to go 3 points behind in the third game.
Please welcome the technical officials on court number 3. The umpire is Ratchanok from Poland. The service judge is Gary Smith from England.
Well, that was a champion shot.
7 all.
And now, on court number 3, men's singles. Please welcome from Korea, Song Man-ho. And he is facing from Denmark, Hans Christian Wittinghus.
Yeah, I think we should maybe clarify what was going on before when the umpire overruled and Mitani didn't challenge. Of course, she's already had a couple of challenges, hasn't she?
Yeah, and lost a few of them. So she has nothing left. So he has to go in. If he thinks it's the wrong call, he has to go in and correct it. Which is fine. We want a fair game. So,
well, best to clear those things up, though.
Yeah.
One game all, 12 points all. Place at the quarterfinals of the women's singles at these World Championships up for grabs. The defending champion trailing now by a point.
Yeah, and she looks a little bit nervous, I must say. A shot like that we just saw there from Ratchanok is normally a shot she masters perfectly. There's nerves in it now. It's a different game. And you can see it in the ways that she shouts when she wins a point. This is...
Well, there's definitely some fire in her belly.
Oh,
it's got to be. Trying to stretch for it, Mitani couldn't get there. And the players allowed a little bit of a break there from the umpire. A little bit of a rub down. Cool drink. Very hot inside this Bellerup Super Arena just outside of Copenhagen.
14-13.
Yeah, and you would feel this it's only I'm saying only, but it's 50 minutes. But you would feel that is actually in the 3 games would be longer by now. But because of that first set and the second set, it's, you know, I don't think that's an issue with the stamina. Oh, great net play by both players.
The only thing I would say is Ratchanok was saying that she wasn't feeling fully fit, so
that could be it. But it's definitely not from that first game. Oh, what a save!
You look at her do something like that and you just wonder why she's in this position.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great rally.
Yeah, best rally of the match. What a winner from Ratchanok Intanon. Real frustration from Mitani, who played some wonderful shots herself in that. Thought she'd played a winner early on as well. Ratchanok somehow got to it, and in the end, She plays a wonderful smash cross court. Nothing Mitani could do.
Unbelievable.
So 15-13, maybe crisis over for Ratchanok Intanon. Crisis may be averted. Still far from done and dusted.
It's going wide. Just feel a slight momentum going to Ratchanok now.
Well, there are a lot of photographers that have made their way down on court now. I think maybe expecting to see a shot, but
Not over yet.
yeah.
14-16.
Of course, we've seen the #1 seed go out in the women's doubles, although Bao Yusin certainly bounced back from that today, didn't she?
Yeah.
In the mixed doubles. That's been the biggest shock so far. Fabulous. Wow. Mitani keeping herself in with some hope here.
All to play for.
Very much so.
That's wide. And now Mitani's back in the lead.
Well. This game just continues to surprise, doesn't it? A challenge from Ratchanok as well. I think this is more out of hope.
But then she had a challenge left. It doesn't make sense.
But was it not Mitani's challenge?
Yeah, but he corrected the Ratchanok's on the Ratchanok side. Well, I promise you I'll find that out for tomorrow. But I'm pretty sure that I know the umpire quite well. He knows the rules. So I'm pretty sure he did was right. But it just, in my book, it just doesn't make sense when you have a challenge system to have a correction. But they do it in tennis as well. And
No
also.
challenge remaining. 16. Sorry, 17. 16.
It's a vital point here. What a great save by Mitani.
Service over.
It hung on the net. Went down the wrong side as far as Mitani is concerned. Umpire again allowing them to go off here, have a break. I mean, it's only, what, 6 or 7 points since they had their last one. So close. Well, she was controlling the rally.
17.
Good judgment from Ratchanok Intanon there. Huge point. Every point is now, I suppose.
Oh, she took it. This is too. Some fantastic offensive smashes from Ratchanok, but even better defense from Mitani. It's so difficult to call this one.
Well, yeah. Someone potentially 3 points from victory here. And suddenly, Mitani takes the initiative again. This is a match that has swung one way than the other. Ratchanok Intanon certainly not showing the form that gave her the title a year ago in Guangzhou. But still, after the fright of the last game, you maybe expected her to come through.
That's
going
wide.
wide. Yes, it is. It's match points. Would you believe, for Minatsu Mitani,
Match point. 18.
the defending champion, on the brink here, on the verge of losing her crown. Great save, but Mitani's playing beautifully here, isn't she? And she's got the winner.
It's fantastic.
What a victory for Minatsu Mitani. The Japanese player here has caused a big upset. Ratchanok Intanon's reign as world champion is over. She'll be back, I'm sure of that. She is such a talent, but today, from a position of cruising, she has somehow let this slip. Credit to Mitani, who took her opportunity, but the upset is hers. 21-18 in this final game. That's an incredible result, given the way that first game ended in, what, 11-12 minutes?
Yeah, we couldn't see that coming. But credit to Mitani. You know, hang in there, and started the second game really, really fast, and maybe Ratchanok got a little bit too comfortable, and couldn't really turn it around.
Well, there will be a new world champion in the women's singles this year, because Ratchanok Intanon, the number 4 seed, winner last year at the age of 18, out to Minatsu Mitani, and now the Japanese player will face Sung Ji-hyun in the quarterfinals. Wonderful result for her. Disappointment for Ratchanok. It's Mitani through in 3 games. So confirmation then that Sung Ji Hyun now will meet, surprisingly, Minatsu Mitani as Ratchanok Intanon bows out after a massive turnaround in that last 16 match just now on court number 1.